Well, happy Thanksgiving Monday, everybody, and I hope you've enjoyed a good weekend. You've had lots of good eats, but not everybody has a lot of good eats. And we're here to talk about one organization that's really helping out here. There's food banks, and there's other organizations, but for about close to, I'm told, 20% of the population, they're called food insecure, which means they don't have enough food based on the money that they have. Food for Life, based here in Burlington, is one of those organizations that's helping out a lot. I want you to meet Karen Randall. She's going to be your good friend here because she's the executive director for Food for Life.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about the philosophy, because there are food banks, there's other organizations.
Yeah.
What is your reason to be?
Yeah, so Food for Life is the largest food rescue hub in all of Halton and Hamilton. So what we do is rescue surplus food from the food industry, grocery stores, food manufacturers, farmers, and we redistribute it to households who are experiencing food insecurity.
So all this is donated food
Yes.
that otherwise would end up in a dumpster somewhere?
Absolutely. We rescue surplus food, not only food that is nearing the end of its life, but also first-run food that is identified as surplus before it even gets out to market.
Okay, so what's happening here? This is the main packing facility
Yeah.
where we are right now. Later on this morning, we're going to check out, we're going to put the tires on the road, as I
Yeah.
like to call it, down at one of the facilities where you do a pop-up market.
Yeah.
But what goes on here?
Yeah, so what we're standing in is our Mountainside Market. This market operates twice a week, and it's open to anyone who is experiencing food insecurity and needs food support. Our focus is on fresh and frozen to ensure people have access to highly nutritious items that are often the most expensive items to buy.
Right.
This market currently supports between 200 and 250 households every day. But Food for Life provides food supports to over 100 programs all throughout Halton and Hamilton, and we provide food to over 4,000 households every single week.
Right, and when you say food rescue,
Yeah.
it's not just grabbing something out of the garbage. This
No.
is good
Yeah.
stuff. There's nothing wrong with any of this food here.
Yes.
And people can come in here and check it out, see what they
Absolutely.
need, and augment what they're already doing. And you've got the expensive stuff. You've got the meat, you've
Yeah.
got the vegetables. These are things
Yeah.
that a lot of people say, well, I can't afford that.
Yeah, and
Right.
absolutely. And by rescuing food, we are able to have an incredible environmental impact as well because we're diverting potential waste from our landfills.
Okay, we'll be back a little bit later on. Food for Life is our story today, and it's a good one, and you'll want to watch our next episode because we're going to go through here and check out what happens when food comes in. You know, is it good? Is it not so good? What do they use? What do they don't use? Well, all that coming up in our next segment here on Morning Live. It is said that almost 20% of residents in Hamilton and Halton do not have enough money to buy, not essentials of life, but the food you really need. We can all buy some food, but food that you see here, meat, potatoes, vegetables, that kind of a thing, don't have that, and they're not doing well with it. Food for Life, which is what we're talking about today, based in Burlington, 1,000 volunteers. Maybe, I'm guessing, the biggest volunteer organization in the whole area here. Food for Life is helping to alleviate some of that problem. I want to introduce you to somebody else here who's doing some great work here. And this is Lindsay Williamson. Come on in here, Lindsay. So just tell us a little bit about what happens here in the room, because again, all this food is donated. There's none bought, it's donated. So somebody brings in a donation, what happens here?
So when someone brings in a donation, it's first stored in our fridge, and then it comes here within the same day. So we're processing about 5,000 to 6,000 pounds worth of food every day in this room. So all of the food comes in here to be sorted for quality assurance and packing. You can see we have two different styles going on. We have home deliveries, which is our in boxes or bags, pardon me.
Right.
And then on the other side of the room, we have bulk. That's where the food is sorted into black crates onto a skid and goes out to community first thing tomorrow morning, and people get to come on location and pick and choose their own food in a very respectable format.
Now, I'm told that you are so pernickety about food that you folks will go through a thing of strawberries and pick out the ones that you don't like.
That is exactly what we do. In fact, we have some at the end of the room here I can show you if you're interested, and that's what we're doing with the squash at the back end as well. So that bin is about 850 pounds worth of squash, that our wonderful volunteers, Vanessa and Eva, are processing right now. So something really important to note is we never want the neighbors in our programs to feel stigmatized for needing food support.
Right.
So while we do deal with donated food, we don't buy anything, we deal with high quality, healthy food. So we'll always send out the heart-shaped potato, the three-legged carrot, but nothing that would make someone feel stigmatized if they were to have it as a choice. So like nothing moldy, broken, or like foul smelling. Everything is high quality, super fresh. From the day it arrives, we have a 2-day in and out period.
Right, so it's not stuff that sits around for a month here in the cooler.
Oh, no.
It's in and out and gone.
Oh yes, like I
It's
said.
just like going to the grocery store, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and that's a big
Maybe
part.
better. Maybe better.
Arguably, yeah, I think so too. For me, the highlight is working with the volunteers. Who you see here is really just a snapshot of the upwards of 1,000 volunteers we work with every single day to process the food and get it out to community.
Okay, if you're a donor, you've got something that you could put up here on the table to help out. If you are in need, how can people get a hold of you?
So donors can find us online at foodforlife.ca. They can also call us at, 905-635-1106 to talk to our Director of Operations, Melissa, about how's best to get the food to us or how we can best get the food from them. Same with volunteering. You can call us at the same number or go online to foodforlife.ca. We have multiple different positions available with different shifts to accommodate different lifestyles and preferences as well. And then really all of the information is on our website or even just word of mouth. Like all of these volunteers, a lot of them come with their families. The 3 people on our line here are the Pasco family, brought in by wife and mother Amanda. So it's a pretty awesome community.
Okay, so if you need help, if you can help, Food for Life, check it out and get involved. We'll be back here in Burlington in just a few minutes, and we'll have another look here at the big complex. Again, 1,000 volunteers to keep this thing going. Welcome back to Food for Life here in Burlington, helping folks in Hamilton, Burlington area, Halton, to eat properly, I guess. That's maybe the best thing to do. Taking food that might otherwise be thrown out, making sure it's good, and then getting it to people's tables and helping them augment what they're lacking and maybe what they can afford to buy. This is the expensive stuff, folks. We're talking about meat, potatoes, vegetables, desserts, all that kind of stuff that a lot of people say, I can't afford to eat that. So just tell us. And I want to introduce you to Melissa here, Melissa Bain, and she sort of runs the frozen area right here. So tell us a little bit about what happens here. Trucks come in, as we just saw, bringing food that they are going to get rid of, but you're able to save us. Tell us how you do that.
Yeah, so what you saw was one of our drivers. He picked up food from a local grocery store, and then 91% of our food is fresh and frozen. So the large majority ends up getting stored in this very sizable fridge here. So we have about 91 pallet spaces where we can store all of our donated food. This food gets stored and then moves to the pack room for sorting. And Lindsay was packing, and you can see here that the food is now staged for program deliveries the following day. So we've got all these programs set up for Tuesday, ready to go, and beautiful product that's already been sorted out in our pack room. And then I'll just show you an example.
Sure.
So we have over 100 food donor companies that donate to us.
100?
100, yeah. And the reason why we get food donated, oftentimes it's because the food is either getting close to its life's end, sometimes it's damaged packaged goods. It's, for whatever reason, it's deemed unsellable, but it's still perfectly good to consume.
Yep.
So I'll show you an example. We've got strawberries here. They're ready to eat, super ripe, but you may need to dispose 1 or 2 berries, but the rest of the product is perfectly fine. So that's where Food for Life comes in. We come in, rescue that food, and make sure it goes out to people in need, because there's a lot of people that really need food right now, and as you mentioned, really expensive product to buy at the grocery stores.
Do you know how much food you're able to reclaim from the dumpster?
Yeah, so right now we are rescuing over 4.6 million pounds of food, and that's from Halton and Hamilton. Yeah.
Wow, and it goes out there to various locations. You have your market here in Burlington, but you also supply all kinds of pop-up markets as well, which is a little different than the food banks do as well, right?
That's correct. Yeah, so we have just over 100 food programs that we distribute to, and in addition to our own on-site markets. And half of those are Food for Life programs, and they're pop-up markets, like you said. So it's all fresh food that we're offering out to the folks.
Okay, now do you get enough donors? You could always use more, I presume.
We could always use more, absolutely. Right now in the fall, it's kind of, we do have quite an abundance of the harvest, of the local harvest.
Yep.
But come winter time, December, January, February, a lot of, obviously, we live in Ontario, there's nothing that's growing at that time. So we rely on a lot of imported food, and there's not a lot of fresh fruit and veg. So that's the time where we are definitely looking for more donations.
Okay, and obviously there's never enough in things. And we really appreciate you letting us come in here because you are a critical thing, because the food that comes in here, you know, it's close to the end, but you save it, and that is a phenomenal. Millions of pounds. That must be very satisfying.
Thank you. Yeah, it absolutely is. I know that none of this work could be done without our fantastic staff team. All of that food poundage is lifted either manually or by pallet mover by our drivers. So they're a fantastic driver team. They do a lot of work out in community. So just super grateful for the entire team at Second Harvest.
Okay, Food for Life, 1,000 volunteers, a little bit of paid staff, great food. We're going to take you to a place where they set up these pop-up markets in our next segment here on Morning Live. We have been talking Food for Life all morning here, and this is where the rubber actually meets the road. This is the pop-up food markets that we've been talking about. Donna Slater's with us, part of the organization here, and I'm told a well-oiled organization helping a lot of people. And first of all, we're in Burlington. It might surprise a lot of people that there's a lot of people in this very wealthy area are not doing well food-wise.
That's correct. That's correct. So we, as an organization, we're located in Burlington, Ontario. However, we support organizations within Halton and Hamilton. And here, Burlington alone, we support close to 25 different food programs, food organizations, community dinners, community fridges within this very wealthy community.
Okay. All right. Tell us what's going on here today. This is pretty exciting.
So this is one of our pop-up food programs. We're at the Pinedale Seniors Residence in Halton. And what this is this pop-up market happens every week. So every week, this rescued food comes to this location, and our residents within this building are able to come down and shop this program.
Okay, so all this food is donated, fresh, frozen, meat, vegetables, desserts, everything people would need. You help them augment what they're already doing at food banks or their own money or that kind of thing.
100%. We hear oftentimes that usually when money is tight, it's the fresh food that is no longer someone's able to purchase. So that's where Food for Life comes in, and to really support those families who are struggling, our seniors who are struggling, to really ensure that their fridges are stocked with fresh food in order to feed their families.
It's amazing that you're getting so many donations. I know you could use a lot more, but great donations here from businesses, and this is all food. This is good food.
100% it's good food. We rescue this food from all our local donors, which is our grocery stores, our wholesalers, our farmers, and so forth. And this food is then brought to our warehouse, which you've seen already, and then redistributed to a program such as this within the community.
Okay, so two things. First of all, you need more donors. You never get enough donors. How can people donate? How do they
100%.
say, I've got some stuff here, we can't use it, you can have it?
Yeah, 100%. So we have our warehouse, as I said, in Burlington, and if you have fresh food from a garden that you had this past summer, we're more than welcome to have that, as well as local grocery stores, any additional food that we can support. As our numbers seem to increase weekly, monthly, anything that we can do to support our community is amazing.
And how can people get in touch with you?
They can go to our website, which is foodforlife.ca, and on there they can click a link to even donate financially, which we know is also very important to keep our trucks on the road.
All right, one last thing. If you need help out here, how can they get a hold of you?
again, they can call us at 905-635-1106, or they can go to our website, which is again foodforlife.ca, and we'll be happy to direct them to a community program.
Okay, Donna, thank you. An awesome program, Food for Life, and all volunteers here. Thank you all for being here today.